I can tell you wanna grab the mic because you Thursday. Hoping you gon' get some shine, but you not worthy. Let me hear you make some noise if you heard it. With the word, placing your games can never let it be known.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Wordplay Podcast. I am your host, Swell Boogie, Swell 79, the Boogeyman, whatever you want to call it. And today's episode is sponsored by Heaven Desires Custom Cakes. She customizes all types of cakes, even does vegan stuff. So go and check that out, y'all. Today, I'm so excited. I got a crazy, amazing guest. He is from the legendary group called the Artifacts. This is L, the Sensei. How you doing, my brother? Everything's all good?
Yes,
Thank you for coming down.
Peace, yo.
Yo, before we even start, I want to tell my own artifact story. I have an artifact story. So, before we even get into you, all right. So back in the days, I would go to my friend's house or people's house or whatever, and we had your songs on vinyl.
Okay.
Right? We had it on wax. We would go vibe out to the songs, and then we would flip it, play the instrumentals, and I wrote so much music to you guys' instrumentals. And the reason why I'm saying this is, and it even got to the point where, because like a DJ would call me and say, yo, I need a drop for this mixtape. I used Wrong Side of the Track as the instrumental, and I put Arsonists is on the wrong side of the track. The Arsonists is on the wrong side. That's how, we were so influenced by your music. So by the time I was 15, Arsonists released the record. I had my first record out at 15. And we put out a few records, and then Arsonists gets signed. Now we worldwide selling records all over the place. And back then, to get people's music, you would have to go into the stores. You know what I'm saying? So I would go into Virgin Records, Tower Records, any major store where they would sell records. My point to this story is that I would go to the section where they will sell all these records.
I already know what you're going to say. Go.
Everything is in alphabetical order.
We right.
And when I seen Arsonist's album there, I seen the Artifacts album there. And I knew you guys were selling so many records. So I was like, you know what? They're going to come in to buy an Artifacts record. And at minimum, they're going to see the Arsonist As the World Burns. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, I knew I was a hip-hop artist. Even though I released records before that, it just felt like I was just putting out records. But at that moment, I felt like I was an artist. You know what I'm saying?
I totally know where you at with it, because like when you go to record stores worldwide and you see different albums, you hope to see your record in these stores. And, I see a lot of y'all records in the stores. And because of the alphabetical order, it also shows what the store, what kind of person that's running the store know about, all of us. So it's always a treat to see your record in the store. It felt so good. Especially like that, because I got a little story like that, and it didn't even got to do with me. My son was in DMV area. He went to the museum in D.C., and then they went to Virginia. They went to get some food, but he saw a vinyl spot across the street. He go over there, and I was like, what made you go in there? He said, I just was curious. He's 16. At the time, he was 15.
Right.
So he go in the store, and he's like, you know what? Let me just go over here. He go to the A's, and he starts seeing the R-A-R, and he's like, oh, word, look, the Artifacts record is in there.
Yes.
So he started freaking out.
It feels so good to walk into a store.
Because that's him believing now that, it's like you said, it's like, oh, my dad ain't lying.
Right.
So then he goes, and he's like, you know what else? Let me go in the E's. Elder Sensei is right there. Dad's record, two records.
Yeah. In 2019, I can go into a classic record store and go into the alphabetical order and see Arsonists and Artifacts records still selling to this day.
Exactly.
20 years later, we're sitting together. A member of the Artifacts and a member of the Arsonists. This is like amazing to me.
A commitment to time.
That's so amazing to me, man.
Exactly.
So, all right, I want to get into before Artifacts. I want to get into that moment you first picked up the pen. Maybe even before that. What kind of kid were you?
I was a kid that was like, I was active. I was into gymnastics. I was into sports. Played football in high school. But in high school, I found that, I always was into hip hop. I was a B-boy. I did everything, beatboxing, whatever you name it.
Right.
I just got to a point where, because as a kid growing up, like all kids, if you got the buzz, as far as the rhyme part didn't come to me till like that was the last one. I learned how to DJ along with being an MC.
That's crazy.
So once I figured out what I was trying to do. And
not to cut you off, but it wasn't even like, oh, we want to be an MC or we want to be a DJ. No. This was just something that was happening.
This is like, as I always say, as a hip-hop guy or a hip-hop historian or whatever you want to call it, you growing up, if you're into hip-hop like that, you'll gravitate into every element.
Everything.
So because if you're around DJs, you'll wind up DJing. You know, I make beats too, but I don't have a machine to sit there all day. But I know how to do it. But it's only because you wanted to add on to your arsenal as an artist.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's just because you're around it. So being around certain DJs, I learned how to DJ. But having Chaos there all the time, I was able to learn a lot better and hands-on. And, you know, just the graph part was always there because I've been drawing since I was 5.
Right.
But I gravitated toward the MCing because I listened to Public Enemy, I listened to Rakim.
I was about to ask you, who are your inspirations and all that?
My inspirations was like, growing up, I wasn't a big Run DMC fan. I liked LL, but then once I heard Rakim and I heard Ultramagnetic.
It was the newer era.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in the late
newer era,
80s.
After the Run DMC era, like and all that.
Cause my man, it was like, I have friends in my building, so every floor had different like types of hip hop. So my man like LL, my man Sundi, he likes LL. He was a LL fan. Then my man Keith liked the Run DMC. I was everything. So I liked all of that, but I was more or less the underground dude in that time frame because, like you said, Run DMC, LL. I was into Ultramagnetic. I was into Skinny Boys. It's because I would listen to the radio.
Right.
So I would go from when Latin Rascals used to be on 98.7 Kids Before Red Alert. So that was like no type of hip-hop was on the radio until that came, and Molly Mall and Mr. Magic. So I was back and forth on the radio, and I understood the difference with the crews in hip-hop, listening to Red Alert, and you listen to what type of hip-hop Red Alert was playing compared to what Marley was playing. Mm-hmm. So it was different.
Right.
So doing that, you wound up not just listening to Run DMC, you listening to everybody. So you finding out who Public Enemy is. I was that kid sat in the house with the headphones on, blasting the music, and B-boy all at the same time this all happening. I ain't get into rhyming until like, you know, freshman and junior year in high school. And
what made you
freshman,
picked up the
sophomore,
pen? How? Why? What happened?
Because I just was like, you know, I feel like I want to do this too. I could add something to it. I have enough influence because of all these records I've been hearing. It was just that I didn't want to sound like all MCs that wind up sounding like somebody that they listen to.
Right.
And I knew I didn't want to be that, so I had to find out where my own style was at, which was always complicated. I could never find. But I was just in the travel of trying to find myself and what I wanted to sound like rather than sounding like who I idolized and listened to. So I turned into the Sensei. I tried to find my own way.
I was going to ask you, where'd you get Elder Sensei from?
Cutting hair.
Cutting hair?
Yeah, I cut hair. Everybody used to come to my house on Saturday.
That makes sense.
They didn't go to the barbershop. I would go to the barbershop down the block, and I would see everybody in there. And I would have my hair already cut, and dude like, damn, where you get your hair cut at? And it's Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, so you know it's always crowded. So I did it, and they're like, word. So some of the dudes I knew, they would come up the street and go to my house. And I'd be playing karate movies in the house. Cut their hair while they doing that, and it be sharp, hairline be sharp, everything. They go back down the hill and go back to the barbershop. I'm good, and they like, damn, who cut your hair? L up the block. So I would get dudes from down the street come up to me, but because I knew how to cut and the hairline be sharp, they was like, oh, Sensei Blade. But then the karate movies playing, anime playing,
right.
So everybody, you know, it just turned into Tame saying, yo,
Tame,
Tame said, yo,
so we even skipping.
I cut his hair too. So he said, your name fit the way you rhyme. Because it's like, John Robinson said it too, like sword play and sword action, as far as with the words and the way I'm trying to fit them is awkward. It's kind of odd, but it still fit and that's how I started.
Oh, this is going
till I got it under control.
Right.
So once I got on stage in high school, junior year, that's when it all changed. I was like, okay, this shit, it works.
Is that when you met Tame?
Nah, I met Tame like
tell me about
after high school. After high school, but in my school, where I went to school at, in the neighborhood, it was Naughty by Nature. Where I went to school with Tretch,
right,
KG and them,
the legends.
So I had that to compete with in high school. Damn. So it was like any talent show. Because when I first started, I rhymed with 2 different females.
As a group?
And I had one female, T Get Down. She was in my neighborhood. The girl was dope. I didn't care if she was a female.
Of course,
yeah. She was nice. We got together, did joints, but it only went as far as that. Just like my friend Wanda. She just, right now, she do hair, got family, married. You wouldn't even think she was doing any kind of hip-hop. She was nice, and she could sing. I wrote songs for her with me. Ooh. We wound up getting in a lot of battles, and we won. Almost beat Naughty in a contest. Big Daddy Kane was a judge. MC Light.
That is so
Roxanne
crazy.
Shante, a few other people. Big Daddy Kane saw me. I had a 2-finger ring. Of course, I had a little chain on. I had a little watch. He got all this shit dripping.
Yeah,
like,
King was the king.
But he did ask me, like, how you get that? So I got a job. He said, all right, I'm just checking, see if you want some drug dealer. I said,
oh, that's dope,
man. It's not me. So I was.
That is so dope.
I think I was like all the kids that was into hip hop, maybe like yourself, that was at that age, I just soaked everything up.
All right, so you meet up with Kane, not Kane, Tame one.
Tame, I met after, say, like high school, like maybe my senior year. I met him. I've known him since I was maybe 18, 19.
It's a long time.
Yeah, so I met him because my man Jay Byrne was in school with me. He knew Tame. Me and Tame both knew the same people. My man Polo Ice. So he knew the same people I knew, but I was going to this building. My man Rhino, CMZ, he was the Boss Mob crew producer. We had like a little Juice Crew type thing.
Right.
And I had just started going over there, and I saw Tame's name on the walls, but I never saw him in person. I never knew what he looked like. I just always saw his name like everywhere. So
when did y'all figure out y'all was gonna start doing records and all that?
We didn't know that, none of that. Like
what happened?
He just was talking to Jay, and Jay told him I was doing music there. One day he came there when I was there.
So you was doing music before him, and
we were both doing music at the same time,
but separately.
Yeah, but
gotcha.
Then when I got to my man's spot, I'm the new part of the crew. He was already doing songs, and I'm doing my songs. And I'm like, yo, where do he? I'm just asking questions. When he gonna be here or whatever. But we finally met up. Once we met up, it was over.
It was over.
Started doing
Chemistry
songs.
was super fire. How did you guys come up with the Artifacts name? What was all that about?
Coming from the label.
What label? It was on Atlantic.
Once we got to deal with Atlantic, they heard the demo. They liked it, but they didn't like the name.
What was the name?
That's Them.
That's Them.
But we tricked them. As far as the second album, the title is called That's Them.
Yeah.
So we told them, like, if we got to change our name, somehow down the line, we're going to name one of these albums That's Them. But from them telling us that, we went home on the train, like, kind of defeated, like, damn, we had this name for a minute, and we got the name for a reason. So I was like, all right. I'm just looking at him. We on the train, I'm like, I don't know why I said it. Artifacts. He looked at me like, I was like,
home run.
We got back in the crib.
Home run.
We already knew
oh
what it
my
meant.
God.
We started looking and making, confirming it.
So
I was like, that was it.
So let me ask you a question, because in my head, the label and then Artifacts name came up.
Nah, we was at Bob and them show first.
Bobito?
Yeah, Stretch and Bob.
Yeah.
We did that show.
He's the one who released my first record.
But not knowing that Stretch worked at Atlantic at
right.
Big Beat. Rob Reef was friends with. They were all like in the circle.
Right.
So Bob at Def Jam, Reef and Stretch is at Big Beat, and T-Ray was already working with Reef with Double X Posse. So everything kind of like started playing out in a certain way where we didn't have to do too much. Like I said, the label didn't even want to hear the demo. They heard us rhyme and was like, all right, that's it. So that was like
That's crazy.
Funny.
That's a blessing, man.
Yeah, because if we didn't get to go to the station, I don't know. I know a lot of people that rhyme, and I know a lot of people that do things, and we listen to Stretch and Bob show just like everybody else, and I heard a lot of people come up there.
Well, Bob put out our first record.
Right.
Bobito.
Whatever they saw in us, you know, and then they like, y'all from Jersey, and I guess that played a part in it, because they didn't hear a lot of dudes from Jersey sound like us, and we talking about the stuff we were talking about.
Right.
And Tame called up the station first, and he won the contest for us to
actually
get the invitation to come up there. So, you know, one thing happened, and
that is
thing, you know, we
dope.
have been stretching Bob crib on the rooftop when it was on 11th Street and 2nd Avenue, and we started doing the album, and, you know, not doing the album, we just started meeting a lot of people from New York that we heard about, especially coming right out of high school. You know, I was at a job working at a hospital in nuclear medicine for a minute, worked in the x-ray file room for a minute.
And now you're selling records all around the world, going on tours.
95,
and all
my man
types.
be like, you ain't had a real job
Oh,
95, bro.
man,
Like,
that's
like
crazy,
that.
man.
That's cool,
that's so amazing. You guys always had the dopest beats, the dopest rhymes, the dopest features. What's your connection to Redman? Because I hear him a lot on a lot, even on Elder Sensei stuff.
Right.
What's your connection to Redman?
Is the big connection to me and Tame. We all met before, you know, Stretch and Bob.
Right.
So, you know, we were always, and we watched that Rap Mania with Red at his crib back in the day. Mm-hmm. So that was the big thing for me, because from there we started making freestyle tapes.
Right.
In Red's basement, and we had
So
a
crazy.
Digitech 7.6 Digitech sampler, and it had no sample button, but it had I don't know why, it was a pedal for what you would hit for the sample to loop again. And Red used to have his pedal in his hand. In order to loop the Digitech, he had it hooked up, but we had this thing where he just...
That's so ill.
We just going live until he got it on point to where he looped it at where he could leave it alone. But manually, he would be looping the beat while we rhyming, and that was funny. His father burnt all the tapes down.
Yo, one of my favorite features that you guys did was the Busta. The Busta. Who did the track to the remix to Get Down?
Buck Wild. Buck Wild
was
did both versions.
Both versions. He was Buck Wild. He's a genius.
But
how did that happen with Busta? Like,
I met Busta.
Did you know Busta before that, or?
I met him at we was going on the bus ride to Morgan State College, and it was us, Original Flavor, Hard to Obtain, KMD, TCF Crew, Leaders of the New School, Jay-Z.
I was just about to ask, was Jay-Z in at the time?
The bus, yeah.
Right.
He went with Original Flavor.
Yeah.
We did a whole radio run through DC and Baltimore, well, mostly through DC. Baltimore at that time. We was I think we did both, and then we wound up in Baltimore at Morgan State College, and we did a show there with them, and all of us rocked, everybody.
That's great. That's super dope lineup too.
And we on the bus together and going back, and that was a crazy day. I ain't got time to explain that whole day, but we met Busta. I'll tell that part.
Go ahead.
We was on the bus. And we was in the back of the bus. We don't know nobody. Everybody is in New York in the front. We in the back, and we scared. So we like, whatever. You know, we got the radio. Nobody got no music. We got the radio.
Right.
So we got the radio in the back. We playing like maybe 7 of the songs that we recorded for the album. So Busta heard the radio. He's like, yo, bring the radio to the front.
Yeah, bring the radio to the front.
I was like, who said that? And he's like, yo, bring the radio down here. We like, oh. So we go down there, and everybody packed up, down there. They talking.
All right, so wait, hold on. People are not understanding what's going on. He's on the bus right now with Busta, Jay-Z, Original Flavor. All right, everybody's here. Everybody's here.
So Busta, he just snatched the radio from me, and he's like looking at me like, let me see what you got. I heard about your artifacts. I was on Stretch and Bob. Blah, blah, blah. We like, yeah. So he's rewinding the tape, and it goes back to maybe Heavy Ammunition. He listens to that. Wrong Side, he liked that. And when he got to come on with the Get Down, he was like, yo, it got like halfway through the song. He was like, start rewinding it. He was like, now back in the day, you had to just.
Yeah. You can't just skip it or whatever.
Staring at it. Yo, this kind of dope. Hold on. Play it again. Got through half of the song. He stops it. So who did the beat? Buck
Wild.
Wild. Buck. So he's again.
Was Buck on the he wasn't on the bus.
He rewinds it again. Looking at everybody. Charlie and Dinko right there. He rewinds it and he plays the whole song. Everybody hear the song because he's blasting this shit now.
Right.
Everybody hear the song.
Everybody's vibing because the song is fire in general.
Everybody listening. And after the song is over, he's like, yo, for real, if y'all do a remix for this song, I want to be on it. Right in front of everybody. We just like, okay, cool. Yo, Charlie looked like he about to blow up because he just said that shit out of the blue. So whatever they was going through, it cut through him. Then after 5 minutes later, we playing beats from the album that we're going to use, and everybody starts rhyming. Dinko and Charlie started rhyming. We all freestyling now. On the bus. we get off the bus and we do the whole run, boom, 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 and we do the show. We gotta get back on the bus. The bus driver like, yo, no smoking on the bus going back, da 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 da. So
with a bunch of hip hop heads.
We get 10 minutes into the ride. Somebody's like, yo, L, turn the radio back on. Yo, play that joint again. I'm like, what joint? You know what joint I'm talking about? Come on with the come on.
Get down with the get down.
Jay-Z. He's like, yo, play that joint again. All the way back to New York from Baltimore, we played that one song because everybody on the bus kept asking us to play it again.
Did anybody try to steal Buster's spot?
Nah, Buster stayed at the school, but...
No, what I'm saying, did anybody try to steal his spot on the record?
Nah, he pretty much...
Fuck that, I'm getting on this record.
He pretty much gave me his number. He's like, yo, just hit me whenever y'all do this. So I kept that in mind.
Right.
And it was time for the remix. I went to Buck's crib in the Bronx. He did the beat right in my face, knocked it out. He gave me a CD and a tape. That's crazy because now.
Yeah.
So he gave me the CD. I was in Manhattan. I was at the label, and I called Buster, and I'm like, "Where you at?" He said, "I'm at the studio. What you doing? I know you got some bud." That's why he in the song, he's like, I burn you like I'm smoking the chalice with Elder Sensei.
Yeah.
So, because every time he called me, I know you got some bud. Like, yeah, I got some bud. I'm coming up. So I said, actually, I'm coming up. I'm going to go uptown first, get the bud, and I'm going to come to you. But I want you to hear something when I get there. So I bet. I got the CD. He don't know nothing. I get there. I play the beat. He was like, damn, what is this? Like, this is the remix to the song where you said you wanted to be on. We was on the bus. So he's like, all right, bet, we on it. He came to the studio, Rampage was with him. We had a dope session. You know, it was funny because when we was doing the song, he was like, yo, I want, come in the booth when I do my part. We barely knowing him.
Right.
So he's just trying to get
it's kind of personal when you in the booth.
But he was trying to get a vibe from us.
Right.
Because it's not lead, it's just totally... innocent. We Jersey dudes.
Yeah.
He's Busta Rhymes. We like, oh shit, like we really doing this right now. You know what I'm saying? Even though we paid him the bread and everything, we still like, we got to hold our own too.
Yeah.
So he was after a while we could see he was more like trying to figure where we were gonna come from, the angle or whatever. But we like, bro,
killed that.
Like, don't even worry about what we gonna do. Like, we just need to know what you're about to do, as far as you being busted.
Nigga,
and when he started doing that shit, yo, I'm in the booth with him, and he's doing that, and I'm just sitting there, just like,
what?
I'm doing it with him. So he's like, yo, you like that? You like that? I'm like, do I like it? You want me to take the money back? Kill all of this shit right now and leave? So he was, I was happy with that.
It was a great song, man.
Yeah, man, and
we ran that out.
The only thing that was with that happened wrong with that, the label didn't let us do a video for that.
Yeah, I always wondered why y'all didn't do a video for that.
You know what I'm saying? That just the fact that we was a smaller group.
Right.
They felt like he would have just, it would have benefited us more than Busta. And, that's the point of doing the remix, really. That's the point of paying them.
Right.
So, it didn't pan out that way. And when we did the second album, the label did admit that they should probably have done a video.
Right.
For that.
Such a great song. Well, you guys did a whole bunch of great songs. All right, so I want to go back to my story.
Right, here we go.
I got another Artifact story.
Okay.
All right, so remember, growing up, we listening to Artifacts. So we the super fans.
And it's like, yo, I'm gonna let y'all know the session.
Don't blow it up.
No, the session is my shit. So
hey, yo, you ready for the session? That was actually our first single.
Yep,
Thank you. So, Arsonists are super fans of Artifacts.
Word.
I mean, we ran y'all instrumentals. We wrote a lot of the music too.
I know Kinetic, all that.
Yeah, you know Kinetic. He actually came up with the name Arsonist.
Right.
Kinetic Energy came up with the name Arsonist. He's a big influence on my life too. He put me on to a whole bunch of stuff. So we get a call that we actually gonna open up for y'all, and we like, wait, what? Arsonist is gonna open up for Artifacts. I don't know where it was.
I want to say downtown. No,
that doesn't even matter.
African Globe.
Maybe.
That's where
I wouldn't even know.
I know.
But we get there. Now this is gonna be a little weird.
I wasn't even there.
You wasn't there?
I heard.
All right, so hold on, don't say nothing. All right, so we on the same lineup with Arsonists and Artifacts, and so we hype. So we get together. We like, yo, we need to blow this show up because you already know Artifacts music. So the Arsonists got to come through. We got to go hard. We started doing routines, and we just hyped to open up for y'all. Day of the show, this conversation gets so weird, even for me. We open up. And we rocked it. We rocked it. As we're walking off stage, a member of the Artifacts walks on stage and says, "Fuck these clown ass niggas. I ain't with none of that whack hip hop shit. I do real hip hop shit." And it was like, you know, when something like that happens and you get into beef mode, I don't want to speak for the rest of the Arsonists. I'm going to speak for myself. I got into heartbreak mode.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of my dreams to perform with you guys. And we were like confused. We were like, is he talking about us? We the only ones who performed.
Right.
What is he talking about? And the tension in the crowd was so crazy. And it wasn't the first episode.
Right.
That wasn't the first time. We was at the radio station, and you know what's weird?
Where?
I never seen you.
Where was this at?
You know what? You're right. Because every time I did run into you, it was always mad love.
Yeah. And you always see me. I'm in the city.
Yeah.
But see, I heard about that.
And we was at the radio station, and people had to get in the middle because a member of the Arsonists was gonna go into blows with a member of the Artifacts, and it got in the radio station, a small room at a radio station, and this is actually, you can probably find this on YouTube or some. It's out. It was live. Wow. Tame One came in. Fuck that. Started wilding in the middle of a rap session, and it was like people had to get involved, and it was just the craziest shit. And it was like, how did it get here?
Right.
How did we go from being fans of the Artifacts to being rivals of the Artifacts?
That was one.
I remember I would go to record a song with a different group, and they would be like, "Yo, you know, we're doing a song with Artifacts. It's cool, right?" And we were like, well, I was like, yeah, like what, like. It got around so crazy that the Arsonists and Artifacts had a rival. How do you feel about that? What's your thoughts on that?
It's crazy because when I heard about it, I mean, like, I know where it all came from, where it stemmed from.
Right.
You know, it was nothing really like, because I wasn't there, I can't speak on everything that happened, but because of what I know, I would say it probably came from a place not of understanding, but just of, like, at the moment, because I think Tame was a different person then.
Right, I remember.
A whole lot different than now.
Absolutely.
And but at the same time, you know, I can't excuse that, you know,
right.
Because the thing that what you told me, as you know, being a fan, and I know what that's like, because I've been slighted by some artists where you be like, you know, man. You know, it ain't what I thought it was.
Right,
or,
right.
You know, it's just, you know, when
it was so heartbreaking,
when
bro.
Just keep moving.
It was so heartbreaking.
I totally get that. Yeah, I mean, I know what it's like when somebody you look up to, and you know, I always think of Guru with Gangstar on that skit when he was like, you know, he walk up to people he respect, and tell them what's up. I like your music and keep it moving. A lot of times you want the person to be cool. I put that in the song. You hope that the cat that you look up to not a fraud duck.
Right.
Where you look at him like, man, like because you have an idea in your mind what the people like listening to the music. And
yeah, it was so heartbreaking. Like,
right.
It was so confusing and heartbreaking. Like,
right.
damn,
but something like that, I would understand that because I
Right.
would question it myself. But like I said,
but you honestly, you always show love. Every
nah,
time I
mean,
seen
that's,
you,
that's me.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I listen to everybody's records. I know who everybody is. So,
Right.
From the gate when I met y'all, I don't care where we been at.
Right,
I
yeah.
always showed y'all respect because I know y'all music.
Right.
I can't speak for that night
Right,
or
not
the radio night, but I know where the energy was coming
absolutely,
from.
absolutely.
Definitely do.
All right, so Arsonists, we released albums, we toured the world, and then it ended. It fell apart for a billion reasons that I can think of.
Right.
What happened with Artifacts? Like, what was it? Something specific, or it was just a bunch of things
A
like
bunch of
Arsonists?
things,
Because
bunch of
Arsonists,
things.
it was a bunch of things, honestly.
I think
Like,
when
even
you
I
got-
take blame for a part of the shit not working. Like, I take fault in it. You know what I'm saying?
But I think it's just when you got, especially with group members, like more than two and more than two, you're gonna have the personality and life gonna come
Absolutely.
into play with
Yeah.
everybody because they're all different. With me and Tam, it was not so much a personal thing. I think it was just frustration with the label, trying to stay afloat on a label that kind of didn't know how to market us, but should have. But a lot of things just didn't go the way we thought they were. A lot of things played out where it's like, the label had to understand we human, and as a human, you need certain things. But
Right.
it wasn't that they didn't understand what we was asking for. It's just that they didn't know what direction to put us in, so we could tell them what. Because of course we know everything that's happening within ourselves.
Right.
We know the direction we think we supposed to be in, but
Also, the sound of music was changing.
right.
Yeah.
And with the second album, we tried to make. I feel with the second album, we made a blueprint for where we should go musically because working with Sean J. Period and VIC and B Miners, Finesse, I think we made a record that was a blueprint for not say like a raucous, but for a lot of like groups that were about to get off major labels that were on say subsidiary labels or independent labels of majors. Whereas, like to say, you don't have to be scared to leave that alone,
Right.
because there's another platform out there in this independent music that we was already making, would just sign to a major. We was able to go to say Fat Beats and Land Speed and all these different smaller labels that if you had good music, it would be easier to put out, but it'd be less of a machine to guide and push because it was an independent
Right.
label. So. But I feel with the second album, we set out. That's why we still able to make records now, because of the music that we put out in the past. But then with the second one, it was more like say, the label liked it. It was I think ahead of time a little bit, but it benefits now today because if you
Right.
listen to the album today, it
Still-
sounds
still-
like how the records were in the early 2000s.
Right.
Like went from where we was at. It seemed like we kind of had a vision of where I think it was gonna go, and because Sean J. Period was on a beat producer level wise, where after he worked with us, it was Helter Skelter, and he worked with OGC, and then he worked did the Body Rock joint with Mos Def and Tash.
Yeah.
So I felt like even with most working with him after that.
Right.
It was just, that was an extension of us, whereas to say, at least with Sean, because we knew him, and he was following us through our early career, that's why we was able to work with him. I saw where we was going with that album, and it picked up late, but I'm glad we did it.
All right. So after Arsonists broke up, I was homeless. I had nothing going on. I had no money, no car, no clothes. I had nothing, and I was like, all right, it's time for me to get a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What was one of your biggest struggles after the whole Artifacts fell apart or whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, I don't want to. I don't know if that's disrespectful, but
in a nutshell,
what was the biggest struggle that you had to go through, adapting
I would say
to that?
my oldest son was born in '94, and when I was doing all this artifact stuff, I saw him, but I didn't get to see him as much as I wanted to.
Right.
And when I finally did, I got to understand that at 2 years old, my son had to be diagnosed as an autistic child. So that, this is after getting off the label, not drop, but let go. Not, you fired, but, Wendy Day was here. And I'm okay. So as soon as I heard her name, I already knew it was up.
Right.
So we were off. So it was no shows. Me and Tame split, and we had to, just regroup to our corners and do what we had to do. But for me, it was more or less like, all right, let me just go home. I wrote a letter to my baby moms, and even after him being diagnosed a few years later, she passed away.
I didn't know that.
Diabetic coma.
That's the beast.
So, and that, and then having to deal with my son.
It's tough.
I had to, all right, I had to put him in school, and I got him in certain schools, and now my son is 25, grown dude, autistic still, of course, nonverbal, but sign language. So that, for me, in the beginning was the hardest thing.
You had to pick up on sign language?
Yeah, a little bit. But it was never like long sentences and nothing like that. It was more or less commands and gestures that, like, as far as if he wants something, and still he's more independent in doing that. But that was probably the biggest thing. And then after that, my father had passed away, so I'm trying to make an album as far as that the Relax, Relate, and Release album. I was doing that at the same time. So all these things were happening back to back to back after the breakup. So I'm, not like you said. I wasn't having no income coming in. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And maybe like 99, I got a phone call from my man, DJ Typhoon in Copenhagen.
Yeah, we did a lot of tours with him.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of tours with
him,
Typhoon.
Yep, him, me, Last Emperor, Trey from Far Side, a couple other cats. But, once I did that, and I was by myself, and I only had like, I had no records.
We were gonna get into Elder Sensei.
Mm-hmm.
This was before Elder Sensei.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I had no
You
records.
was trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, I only had this tour because I saw somebody was calling me, but at the time, just the email shit was really just going.
Right.
So
but Typhoon was doing a lot of work.
Yeah, he was calling.
He got us a bunch of European tours over
Rashid, Melee Sparks, he called me, and I answered the phone. And he was like, "Yo, I got Spinal 3 where they want to talk to you," and it was Typhoon. So he gave me an offer. I took it. After that, I was like, I called Matt Fingers, and I was like, you know what, Matt used to come to the studio. He told me if I ever get off the label, to call him. So I called Matt. I was like, yo, remember when you said if I wanted to ever do a record?
Same thing you did with Busta. Yo, remember you said?
Like, he was like, yo, okay, well, so what's up? I was like, yo, I want to do the record. Well, if you could do the record, who would you do the record with? Organized Confusion. I know you mess with Mike Zoot, so he's like, well, I got FT. So all right, I'll do that.
Right.
Matt, I said, but you got to give these dudes some bread. So I made sure he paid March and Poe and all them.
Right.
So when we do, then that's just it. Sean J, I was like, what's up? He did the beat.
That's so crazy.
I think,
and that's what started.
Matt paid him, and we was up at a Unique Studio. We recorded that. And I remember I took that record up to.
So let me get you straight. It's you.
This is now.
Pharoah Monch,
Yeah. The whole
Prince
organized
Poe.
before they split. Yep. That was my first record by myself. Where it was like, but when we did that show, that tour, I was doing all artifact stuff.
Right.
But just my verses. And
of course.
just cut them off. So when I did this record, I was just like, okay, wow. Monch, one of my favorite MCs.
Of course.
Poe, my man. The record came out dope. But I took it to Ruckus. The song, not the record, but I took the songs up there. I had the song with Poe and them, but I had a B-side, my man P Original, and I let them hear that. But then they was like, well, we got Sound Bombing coming, Medina Green,
right,
Most Def, I was like, all right, cool, that's no problem. So I told Matt, Matt took it to Fat Beats. Fat Beats pressed it. And when it got up in his hands, he's like, yo, meet me at Tower, like now. I go to Tower. dude from Raucous. I can't remember his name. Maybe Brian, something like that. I don't know. He's standing there with Matt, and I'm like, oh, that's dude from. So he's like, he got the record in his hand, like, yo, why you ain't play this A side for me? I was like, what? With Monch and them? He's like, I knew you would like that because they're on the song.
Right.
I wanted you to like the record for me, being who I was, and you know, you like the other song, so that's cool. But the record wound up doing good without him, and I was like, all right. Then I did another record with these cats in Japan. Then I did another record with these dudes in London.
How was the transaction of being in a group and then doing solo records? I never had the courage to do solo.
It was hard because like when you in a group and there's two people, you get to split the bars. You do eight and blah blah blah. That was the easy part about doing that. The hardest part about being solo, you gotta write 3 verses. You gotta write 2
choruses.
You coming up with the hook. All this shit is by yourself.
Oh, right.
All by yourself.
It was tough.
So that was hard. But then once you get used to it, doing the shows even got harder because you by yourself.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, and I got to practice that when later on, being with different DJs and until Chaos was able to come with me.
Right. You always kept DJing in your element, hard body.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to most of the songs, the scratches all over the place.
Yes.
The Chaos did a lot of the.
Yeah, Chaos did a lot. He did all the cuts in the second album.
Right.
He did a lot of cuts on my first album, Relax, Relate, and Release. Second album, he did some, and then my man DJ Nas did some, and you know, that's when I was just trying to step it up and just add to it. You know, even what Chaos was doing. I was on a mission, man. I was on a mission.
Right. Talk to me about Chaos.
Man, Chaos was the Artifacts DJ from '95 to August 5th, 2019. This year.
Yes.
And we met him in 1989 down in Military Park in Newark, New Jersey, doing the show with his group. And me and Tame was downtown. We just was randomly just downtown Newark walking.
Right.
We knew it was a contest going on because every year they had this contest. Chaos was up there and he was cutting Juggling Manifest. And we was like, damn, who's that? Like, we ain't see. This is in Jersey. There's no battle DJs in Jersey. So we saw him doing that. We was like, that looks like the dudes that be on Video Music Box. Steve D with the Superman on his chest. Like, who's this boy? So we go over there. We talking to him. We talk his man Champ and his man. And, you know, I get his number. But Chaos became a friend to me because once we got to do the album, I was calling him every time we did a song. Like, yo, listen to this one, boom, boom, boom. And he just was like, and I knew him from some people that I worked with that was down the street from his house, but I didn't know he lived down there until we actually got together. I was like, damn, I could have knew you. I used to be down the street with CC Penniston, manager, and my man Antex, this dude from Queens. He had a record out called Vanessa Yo. And he knew the dude, too, because he heard that he was down the street. Make a long story short, I got to go to Chaos' crib before he was even in the group. That's how I got to learn how to DJ a little bit. I go there. His mom be screaming at us, can't smoke in the room. She used to be kicking us out. But me, she let me stay. So, you know, Chaos became one of my good friends through meeting him through music. And once Raider was DJing for us, and Rock Raider was DJing for us, and Showbiz and AG. And that's why when you hear AG on the Goodfellas album, he be like, so come on with the Get Down, because Raider was playing the songs for us, for them.
Right.
And that's how me and AG met, because through Raider. Raider had started doing the DMC battles, couldn't DJ for us no more. So we had to find a DJ kind of almost equivalent to Raider.
Right.
So I was like, yo, let's call Chaos. We was in Texas. Tame called him. What you doing? Nothing. No. I'm like, what are you doing? As far as like DJing for somebody? Nothing. Are you sure? He's like, yeah, you want to be the DJ for us? He's like, hell yeah, bet. Pulled him in. And Chaos been the DJ ever since. And he just passed away in August from complications of his kidneys.
Rest in peace.
I just say for everybody, man, you know, Chaos knew more than we did. But he went out the way he wanted to go, you know. And I just tell everybody, man, just like take care of yourself.
Right.
You know, do everything possible to keep in tune with your body. And
I know that was hard on you because you guys was together for a long time.
Yeah, he lived with me for like 16 years.
Yeah, look, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was more than just him being a DJ.
Yeah, man, and that's one thing we made sure that he was not just a DJ. You know, 'cause a lot of DJs get hired to do these shows and be with these artists.
No, he was officially
part of the group. He was like our Jam Master Jay.
Absolutely.
You know, he was in pictures with us. You know, we made sure that on stage that he would get his time to shine. He'd do his set, whatever he wanted to do. We gave him time for all of that. We made sure in the crowd, you know, what's the DJ's name? And they would say his name. We made sure that he was more of a focus than us, because dude, they gonna hear us. 'Cause we rhyming.
Right, no matter what.
He talks and he did the ad libs. He was complete everything.
Right. You also done the songs with Sean Price, who also is in the heavens right now. They together. So that's, you've been through that. You know what I'm saying? That's even
my man P Original. He was a producer. I would say my personal producer. He passed away a couple of years ago. So it's like, you know.
The greatest thing is that we get to listen to all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we created so much history with them. You know what I'm saying? You can press play and hear chaos.
And that's why I don't feel bad. You know what I'm
saying? Right, Like,
I got so many, you know, I'm not going to lie. When I first even, you know, knew when it was, I was like, damn, you know, it's like, initially is a big blow. But once you get to soak it in, and after the funeral and just seeing him buried, I was like, okay, for me, it was like, you know, damn, it's time to go now.
Right.
You know, I don't know, like, a lot of people thought I was going to be, like, super duper sad. I'm like, I am. But
of course,
right now, though, like, because I know him, he going to see, he up there telling people, like, look, L ain't trying to even stop.
Right.
Because he know what the mission is. And we can't, especially not now, because this is about really just, we about to do a tribute tour for Chaos in December in Europe.
Right.
You know, and people out there, they knew. Yeah. Everybody knew. And we did a GoFundMe page for him. And, you know, it's a gift and a curse with the GoFundMe. Sometimes people want to know why cats don't have insurance, but I looked at it as, for the people that knew him, a lot of times when you say rest in peace to people, the only thing that you could do is say that.
Right.
These people wanted to include themselves in his funeral and his going away, to where if they wanted to pay their respects, that if they could just give 20 and 50, some people did 500, and I was surprised, but it's just like, that's how much respect people have for him, to say, you know, because I'm not there, this is the best thing I can do to know that he's gonna be all right, and his
family's gonna be all right, and all that. That's so dope. Is there a Artifacts reunion?
Oh yeah. And we got an album coming out.
Talk about that.
We got an album coming out.
So amazing.
11 joints, all produced by Buckwild DITC.
Wow.
Yeah, we almost done. We just waiting for one feature, and we're ready to start mixing.
Wow, I didn't think it was that far along.
Yeah, now we've been working.
Because I was about to ask you, I know there's a reunion, so what's next? That was my next question. What's next?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So is it going to be on, are you guys putting it out yourselves?
No, it's going to be on Smoke On Records. Is a label in Germany. So actually we got 2 records on Smoke On Records right now. One is called The Lost Files from 1989 to 1992. Pretty much all the demo songs me and Tame did in between that time. They also released the 20th anniversary issue of That's Them, hand-drawn cover by Andrea Dominguez. And she laced that. And if you go right now, smokeonrecords.com, you will see a package where they have a poster, a T-shirt. I don't know if any T-shirts left, but a poster for $25. You get the basic joint, but with the T-shirt, it's $50. But yeah, you get a poster, postcard, stickers.
You guys got a whole package thing going on. It's like everything is official. That's so dope. Before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask you a few questions. This is some fun part. What was the last gift you gave someone?
Last gift.
What's the last thing you gave someone?
Some sneakers.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Everybody needs sneakers.
Yeah, man, that's double for my son too.
All right. So, what do you like to do when you're not doing music?
Artwork, drawing. I'm heavy into anime. I drew a lot.
Did you do any other artwork for Artifacts?
I've done artwork for myself. My first single, Frontline, with the superheroes on the cover,
which is so dope.
Yeah,
you did that.
I drew that.
That's
and my
so
man Malik,
dope.
my man Porno, he colored it. I've done one Brothers Ain't Got It record in Japan. I did the cover for that. I know it's probably something else, but that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it, like where people saw where they could really see it. That's that I've done. Oh, and I did a cover for Pace One, Sun Rooftop. Ooh. And that's just black and white. He wanted some superhero type stuff.
Right.
So I did that for him too.
So if Hollywood did a movie on you right now, what's the name of it? Who's gonna play Elder Sensei?
Damn.
It's the last one.
If I had to spit the name out real quick right now, Chadwick Boseman, I guess. I don't know. He in my I ain't say my age group, but he ain't too far away from it.
What's the name of the
album? The movie would be I wanted it to be something dramatic.
So wait, what kind of movie would it be? Would it be
action movie?
If you're action, definitely
action movie. Man. I don't want to say Redemption because that's Ray Redemption. I don't know. I don't even know.
It's not a karate movie.
It's something like that.
It's probably definitely gonna be a kung fu movie.
It'll be like the Raid. I don't know if y'all watched the
Yeah, the Raid is dope. There's a few Raids, right?
And there's one on Netflix called The Night Among Us.
Yes.
That is crazy, but it'll be
something
like
scenes.
that. It'll be probably a weird name that ain't got nothing to do with music.
Right.
The Silence.
All right, so listen, my brother, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, yo.
A member of the Arsonists, a member of the Artifacts, sit it together. This was so amazing, bro.
You know,
it was so amazing.
I see. I'm more in New York. I'm more of a universal, so I'm into everybody. But y'all see it.
Yeah, this was so dope, man. This was such a great vibe.
No doubt.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Sensei from NJ, SENSEI from FROMNJ. Facebook's government, so it's like, Elliot, Elder Sensei Williams.
Right.
And you can find me on Twitter, Elder Sensei, ELDASENSEI. So,
everybody, thank you so much.
You can't say you can't find me.
Thank you so much for watching
Peace.
Another episode of the Wordplay Podcast. Remember, if you want to get some cakes, go to Heaven Desire. Got the fire cakes. Anything you want, she can do. Any design, it can be done.
I need to call. I need some cakes.
Yeah, super dope. And if you're a vegan, she even does that.
Word.
So, the Wordplay Podcast.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
I can tell you wanna grab the mic because you Thursday. Hoping you gon' get some shine, but you not worthy.